Hello everyone.
Hey guys, so we're about to go live. I think we have 26 people here with us. So are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So hi everyone, I am Jojo and I am the Global Marketing Manager at Phala Network. And today we're very happy to have Dr. Shelvin with us. Hi, Dr. Shelvin. Okay, so for all of you guys that are new here, Tech Talk is actually a popular series planned by the Phala research team and the marketing team. The Tech Talk mainly focus on the technical topics our community cares about. We usually use easy to understand language for the technical aspect of Phala products and concepts. And we would love to communicate and interact with our friends from around the globe in the Tech Talk. So today our topic will mainly focus on the killer product Phala Network just launched. I'm sure a lot of people have been talking about this. It is the Phat contract. So there are actually quite a lot of questions about this in the community recently. So we will have Dr. Shelvin to give us an in-depth introduction of what Phat contract is today. And during the process, you can ask questions by clicking the Ask a Question button at the bottom of the screen. And I will collect all the questions and have Dr. Shelvin answer them in the Q&A session. So please welcome Dr. Shelvin to give us an introduction of what Phat contract is.
Okay. A second. I will share my screen. Okay. I think now all you can see my screen. Okay. So hello again, everyone, and this is our fifth Tech Talk, and I'm very glad to introduce maybe one of the first the Phala's first real usable applications apart from the previous Phala apps, and I think this is the first application for our developers to use, and it's the Phat contract. And actually, just in the I think in last week, I have just presented this application to all this substrate developer community, and yes, and we really received many positive feedback. So I think it's also very good to have a chance here to share this to our developers and to show what Phat contract can do, and what's our plan about it, and what's the most suitable use case for it. And okay, let's begin. So today I'm gonna give a very brief introduction about Phat contract, because actually now we already have the workshop tutorial for you to go through. So if you are really interested in it after my presentation, you can just follow the tutorial in our GitHub repo, and just try to use it by yourself to experience the powerful Phat contract. Okay, the first topic I'm going to introduce the unique feature of Phat contract. And although due to its name as the Phat contract, but actually during our design process, when we try to design the Phat contract, the first thing we try to get rid of is the current limitation on the smart contract. So actually, the Phat contract is not a smart contract. Actually, the Phat contract is more like the normal program you are interact with and you are already developed. So okay, let's see the difference. And this is a very brief framework of Phala network, and the most significant difference between Phala network and the other network is that we have moved the contract execution process in our off-chain TE runtime, and actually for almost all the other blockchain, for example, like the Ethereum, like the Solana, or the other blockchain you are already very familiar with, they do the contract execution in their node. So actually we do the contract execution here. So actually such design can just release the limitation on the smart contracts and give the Phat contract very unique features of it. And I can give a very brief comparison between the Phat contract and with the current smart contract. And what we can see is that, for example, for the current smart contract, for each no matter query or just the transaction to update the smart contract state, you need to wait. Actually, you are waiting for the finalization of your block of your transaction. So your transaction is really taking effect, and then you can just get the results of the transaction. So you need to wait. Actually, such time is about, on average, is about 2 blocks, and actually, for example, in Ethereum, the time for 2 blocks is about 12 seconds. This means even if you are just query a very simple variable, for example, the balance of your account, you still need to wait about 12 seconds to get the real result. But actually, such things can be really changed in Phat contract because there is no latency for querying Phat contract. For example, if you deploy for example, ERC20 contract with Phat contract, and you try to query the balance of your accounts, you just immediately get the results. No need to wait up for the blocks. And I think this is very great because I will show that such low latency features are very suitable for some task which requires which has a very high requirements on the latency. And the second features of Phat contracts is that it can fully utilize all the computing power of Phala network. And actually, the computing power of Phala network can be very different from existing ones. For example, in the Ethereum, actually the increasing number of the workers do not really come with the corresponding increments in the computing power, because actually in Ethereum there is only one workers who really do the execution during each block, and all the other workers they just watch, and they just do the re-executed and do the duplicated execution for verification. So its computing power just not scale no matter how many workers there are. But actually for Phala and for Phat contract, the computing power can be scaled because our workers are secure workers, which is based on the trusted hardwares, and in the future maybe other cryptographic based solutions. So actually our workers can be trusted, can be secure, and we do not need so much duplicated execution for the verification, because the workers, he cannot try to provide the false results. That's the reason why our computing power can be just multiplied compared with the existing platforms. So Phat contract is also designed to try to fully use all the computing power provided by the Phala blockchain. And the third, I will not explain in depth about the third, because I think all our developers should be aware of this, because just Phala was Phala is a blockchain of privacy, right? Because all the things are confidential in our blockchain. And the fourth, I think this is a very strong features, because actually in our past hackathon, we have seen many people why they try to use our Phat contract, because it has the ability to access the internet service, and it just bring many convenience for the development. For example, in the current smart contract, we say that the current smart contract ecosystem is really closed, because actually from the existing smart contract, you can only access other smart contract, but not what other services which is already available on the web, on the internet. For example, we are all promoting the Web3 services, but actually in this world, most of the fundamental services are still in the Web2 world. So actually, after we have enabled the internet access in the Phat contract, actually our Web3 contract is able to fully utilize all the existing Web2 services to serve it. And I think this is very, very powerful, because, for example, in the previous, if you are a Solidity developer, for example, in Ethereum, actually, when you try to read some data outside the Web3 world, outside the blockchain, you need to rely on some very heavy or centralized service like Oracle, because the Oracle, it will report, for example, the current price of the BTC, the current weather, today's weather, to you. But actually, from Phat contract, since you can directly access the internet, you do not need to rely on such services anymore. You can just do this with a very simple HTTP request. For example, you can just query some web API and read the latest price of BTC. So actually, the Oracle is no more needed in our contract anymore. So actually, also the internet accessibility also enable your contract to apply some effects on the outside world. For example, your contract can connect to your Telegram bot, or even to another blockchain through their HTTP API, even if there is no bridge between Phala network and the target blockchain. So actually, this is very good, because you can connect Phat contract with the Web2 world and with the other blockchain in the Web3 world, and I think this is really nice. Okay, after I have introduced the features of the Phat contract, here is some use case. Actually, this is my imagination. Also, this is some use case which has already been implemented by our developers in the hackathon. And but actually, I think people do not need to be limited by my imagination, because actually you can just imagine all the good use case to use our contract. But actually, I think the current use case is based on our features. Actually, for example, since our contract the Phat contract supports privacy, is confidential. Actually, all its states, all its inputs are confidential. It's very suitable to use our contract to implement some applications which were thought not to be suitable to be implemented with smart contracts. For example, like an auctions contract or a decentralized exchange with the contract, because actually the previous decentralized exchange on the Ethereum can be really hard to implement, because there is no privacy in the Ethereum, and it's really hard to hide people's balance and their bidding price. So, but actually, all these things can be just achieved with our contract. And another thing is that our contract is very suitable for some computation-intensive tasks. For example, the NFT is very popular these days, and actually for all the NFT artists, when they try to mint an NFT, an image, they need to do the image rendering work, and this is very computation intensive and can be very expensive. From my best knowledge, for example, there is some service called the rendering farm, and when you try to use their service, for example, you try to render a video for about, for example, 1 minute, you need to pay about you can pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for this service, and this is really expensive. But actually, if since we have many computing power, actually we can provide a very cheap service for the image rendering service for the NFT artists to render their image, to render their NFTs. And actually, since our contract can further connect to the current NFT market, for example, like the OpenSeas or the Remark in the Substrate ecosystem, we can do all the work for them. For example, they just upload an image model, and we do the rendering for them in a very low price, and then we can help them just publish the NFT directly to the market. So all the things just in one click. And also, for example, many people has come to us and just ask, can we run the AI model in the Phala's workers? Actually, their first motivation to do this is that our workers is confidential, and so they don't need to worry about the leakage of their AI model, because the AI model can be very expensive, can be very sensitive. But actually, we have finished the proof of concept to run the open source rendering engine of Blender, and also try to run the AI model in our secure workers. We have finished the proof of concept, and I think these two tasks is a very good demonstration of our computing power, because actually no other smart contract have the ability to really run this task, because they are so computation intensive. The third aspect I will talk about is the low latency of our contract. So it's very suitable to power the Web3 world. For example, like the GameFi, like the metaverse, because actually we have already seen that the current game service and the current metaverse, actually many projects, they just place their service on the centralized computing cloud. And just in the I think just maybe in the last 3 weeks ago, and we have just observed the failure of the AWS service. But actually, I think for now, although we cannot promise the same stability of the just like the centralized service, but actually I think Phala can be a very good alternative choice for them to run their backend, to run their service in our contract. And actually we can support very low latency query, just zero second latency query. So it's totally achievable to run such service. So then we can have the decentralized metaverse on a really decentralized computing cloud, and this will be very great. And the last, just I have presented in my last slide, because with the ability to access internet, we can very easily to just implement an Oracle with just tenths of the code, and we can just implement some bots to report anything we want from the blockchain to our, for example, to your Telegram bot. We can just easily get the information. Okay, then I will introduce the roadmap. And the most recent milestone, actually just this month, and actually we have finished it because we have given the demonstration in last Tuesday to all the community, to show that we can develop the Phat contract with the Parity Inc. Programming language, and you can deploy your contract to our Phala node. Actually, but we do not release this because our testnet is still under testing, and but this will be soon, because we have already finished all the development work. So the current situation is that we provide two kinds of the contract. The first is called the native contract, and it is used in our October hackathon. And the benefits of this is that you can just utilize the full feature of the Phat contract. For example, the ability to access the network and the other performance advantage. And this is the first kind. But actually, to do this, you need to fork our code base and make the change, and then compile our node to do this. But the things I demonstrated last week is that you don't need to deploy your own node, but actually you can just reuse all the existing mature toolchain of the Parity Inc. contract, and you just compile your contract into the Wasm binary, and then you can just deploy your contract on our testnet without the need to deploy your own node. So we will release the support for the Parity contract on our testnet soon. But actually, for now, the Parity Inc., or we call it the Pink contract, it cannot fully use all the features of Phat contract because we need to extend the existing Inc. contract for the extra ability. But still, you can already enjoy the performance and the confidential advantage of the Phat contract use the Inc. contract. So I really recommend everyone to use this. You can just get the link in my next slide. And actually, in the 2022, the first quarter, we will support Phat contract on our mainnet. And in the second quarter, we will provide support the full features of the Phat contract in our Pink contract. So at that time, anyone can be free to deploy their own contract on our mainnet and just utilize all the features you want of our contract. Okay, to learn more, I can just pass some links here because there is an article to introduce our motivation and the features of the Phat contract maybe in a more detailed way, and also there is some tutorial and workshop you can go through. You can just experience for no matter the native contract or the first version of the Phat contract here. And also, we are very welcome every developers to join our Discord to provide some feedbacks and to discuss with us, so we can actually add more interesting features to our contract. Okay, and I think that's all for my introduction today.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shelvin. So I received some questions during your presentation. So I think now we can enter the Q&A session. One second.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I have falsely closed the screen. Okay.
No worries. I was saying that now we can answer some questions from the community. So Justin asked, what are the storage options available? Is it the same as the ones available in Inc?
Actually, for example, if you just try to store some variable, for example, and actually, yes, this is exactly the same as this is what is going in the Inc. But if you care about, for example, when we try to read some very large files, actually, we do not recommend you to do this in our workers because actually we make no promise about the storage situation in our workers. But actually, you can, since we support the HTTP request ability, you can just, for example, use the storage solution like the Arwave, because you can just upload your file to the Arwave and then you can read the data you need and process it in our contract and send the result back. This is okay. So yes, this is my answer.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope that answered your question, Justin. And he actually has another question. He asked, what were the unique security challenges faced when creating the Phat contract functionality?
Oh, yes. Oh, this is a good contract. This is a very good question, and Actually, for example, actually, I think the security challenge has most been addressed by our blockchain design because we have all the work we have, all the development work we have do on the workers, for example, to ensure the integrity, the stating consistency of each worker and ensure the confidentiality of each worker. This is already done. But actually, when we try to migrate the ink contract into the secure worker, there is some extra development need because actually the runtime is totally different. For example, in previous, when you try to read or write a variable, you are just directly read and write to the blockchain storage. But in our case, since we do the execution in the off-chain workers, there is an extra process called the state sync process, which the workers will do with the blockchain. And during this, we will ensure that all the states are correctly downloaded and all the updated states are correctly write back. So, but actually there are more I think implementation details about this. But if you are really interested, actually I think you can just search our pull request because I think there is 2 to 3 important pull requests about our support for the in contract, and you can just search the keywords for the pink, pink, p runtime ink, short for p runtime ink. You can search for the keyword of pink for our pull request to see what we do to migrate the contract into our secure workers.
Okay, got it.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Shelvin. Does that answer your question, Justin? I think so. Great. And the next question from the community is, will Phat contract be compatible with EVM?
Okay, actually, first, we do not want to, for example, enable people to use the Solidity to develop our Phat contract because actually, the EVM contract itself is very limited. So actually, I don't see any meaning to try to just make our Phat contract compatible with EVM. But actually, I think still the existing Solidity contract, it can utilize all the features of our contract by interact with it. For example, Phala is cooperating with Moonbeam on working on a ad hoc bridge between the Moonbeam and the Phala network. So after we have finished this, actually, you can just try to query our Phat contract from your Solidity contract and vice versa. So I think in this way, our Phat contract can be a very good extension of the current smart contract instead of just try to make another smart contract, I think, because just as I have explained before, the Phat contract is not smart contract, and we try to do what the existing smart contract cannot do in our contract. So this is the idea. So although it's not compatible with the EVM, you can still utilize our contract from the EVM contract. Okay, that's it.
Got it. So are oracles still needed in Phat contract?
Actually, I don't think it's needed anymore because what Oracle do from our contract is just about sending a HTTPS request to the corresponding web services. So this is enough because you can just do this in one line of code. So why to build the Oracle service again anymore? Just do what you want to do in our contract.
Got it.
Mhm.
And another question from the community is, so if that contract does become a smart contract, so to say, it's not actually a smart contract,
Mhm.
but can dApps from other platform move from Ethereum to Phala? And also, how do people convert or adapt to use Phat contract when they have been using smart contracts already?
Yes, and I think answer has already covered, and actually I can report some progress actually. For example, we already have a bridge to between the Phala network and the Ethereum, and for now, its mainly usage is about transfer the token. For example, transfer the ERC20 Pha to our Kala Pha, but the underlying mechanism is about it's support to send some message between the Ethereum and the Phala network, and actually, although despite of the high gas price problem, actually we can already send a message from the Ethereum to the Phala network and or from the Phala network to the Ethereum. So this means it's already possible to invoke our contract from your Ethereum contract. And actually, in the following time, we will further enable the bridge between the Phala network and the BSC, and also the bridge between the Phala network and the Moonbeam, and also after we have the support for the XCM, for the parity XCM, then you can just communicate with any parachain in the Polkadot ecosystem. Further, actually, for example, one of our hackathon participants, he has demonstrated that you can just use our HTTP request capability to communicate with existing blockchain, even if there is no bridge. Because, for example, the Remark blockchain, they just provide some web API, and you just send the HTTPS request to their web API, then you can just manage your NFTs on the Remark. So this is also a way. So the general idea behind this is that our contract can be used to connect all the things, no matter blockchain, no matter the web service or others.
Okay. Thanks for the answer. And back to the dApps question, someone asked, what do you see as the next step or innovation in terms of how dApps will utilize Phat contract?
I have already provided some points from me in my slides, but actually I think all our developers, you can just use your best judgment, use your best imaginations to see how to use it. And I think a very good reference is some advanced hackathon submission we have already presented. For example, the secure decentralized exchange, the secure markdown editor, and the NFT auction bots for the Remark network, and also the path manager based on our contract. I think can be some reference, but actually, I think that the Phat contract can be a lot more than this.
Got it. So you showed us the roadmap of Phat contract. So what is the current progress of Phat contract, and do we have any partnership that's already in place?
Yes, actually, there is. I think in the following time there is 2 to 3 major direction for our cooperation. For example, first we are cooperation with the Remark team about to already, for example, for the auction bot, and actually for another project about the Phala world, because actually in Phala world we try to make all your behavior, all your transaction in our blockchain into the NFT, so into an avatar in the in a virtual world. So this is and I think Marvin has already introduced the details about Phala world to all of you. And another is we call the D farm, the render farm. I have already introduced because I think our computing power can be really suitable for the rendering work, and we are we have finished the proof of concept of the support for the Blender rendering engine. So I think in the near future you will see that many NFT artists will do their rendering work on our blockchain in a very low price and in a very convenient way. Okay.
Looking forward to more partnership in the future. as that contract develops further. That's actually all the questions I got from the community. Do we have more questions from the audience? You can click on the Ask a Question button on the bottom of your screen. Justin said, thank you, Phala team, for the great introduction to Phat contracts. I think that Phat contracts are a really exciting product. Yes, it is. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Justin.
Okay, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to have Dr. Sheldon go rest. It's pretty late in China right now, and thanks so much for your time, Dr. Sheldon, and thank you so much for the audience to come and listen to our Tech Talk.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Have a good one. Have a good morning or good night. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.